made from first from kit viruses like the polio, but also now made by recombinant proteins of different viruses. And I was part of this because at the Pasteur Institute, I was the first to suggest to use the new genetic engineering techniques to make components of virus which could be used as vaccine. And this was at the origin of hepatitis B vaccine in our that institute with the team of Pierre Thiollet. Why aluminium? Well, aluminium has to be used, was used as an adjuvant of vaccination. Why? Because the recombinant proteins are pure proteins. They are not as immunogenic as a full virus vaccine or the live vaccine. So we have to add adjuvants. And the first adjuvant used in the 1920s was aluminum hydroxide or aluminum phosphate. Nothing wrong with that. But this aluminum, when injected inside muscles, is highly immunogenic, but unfortunately also it can cause disease. I'm not, some people say aluminum is used everywhere. Of course, we are using aluminum in our cuisine, in the life of every day. But absorbing aluminum is different from injecting aluminum inside the muscles. And it was shown by a work 10 years long by Professor Gherardi in France, and this has been confirmed by several other groups, that this aluminum stays very long first in the injection site, but later also is taken up by macrophage, and macrophage will carry that aluminum even to the brain if the barrier is open. So aluminum has to be replaced, and this is one very important requirement of using vaccine, is to diminish the aluminum content or even suppress it. Actually, vaccine for animals, for cats and cats and dogs are free of aluminum. And there was an advertisement recently for promoting the vaccination against flu, the flu shot, and saying this vaccine does not contain aluminum. So even the commercial use now imply that we should ask for the removal of aluminum in vaccine. And actually at the Pasteur Institute in the 1970, there was one of my colleagues, Dr. Oliveld, who said, well, now I have a better adjuvant, which has not the inconvenience of aluminum, which was not already known at that time. The inconvenience at that time was more, it was inducing allergy and autoimmune diseases. And he could replace aluminum salt by calcium phosphate salt, and having the most equivalent adjuvant effect without the inconvenience of aluminum. So the technique existed, but unfortunately, the firm created by the Pasteur Institute at that time, Pasteur Vaccin, was bought by a bigger firm, the Merieux Institute, and then Sanofi, and the calcium phosphate was completely forgotten just for financial reasons. This is why I think the most important deviation now for the use of vaccine is that the finance is involved, not the health of children. I added to this list also electromagnetic radiation. Here we don't know exactly, they are probably good and bad electromagnetic radiation for health, but this has to be investigated. And we know that there are experiments in animals showing that electromagnetic exposure, even to low frequency and low energy radiation, can open the barrier between blood and brain. So this is what I said in 2012, that first a possible infectious agent. I didn't talk any way about vaccine. I talked just about this agent. But since I was invited by a society of parents against autism, Autism 1, my presence was used to say I'm against vaccine. I'm not against vaccine. I'm just for vaccine, safe and effective. That's all. And I'm not the only one. So the importance of the barrier is opening by several factors, explain the complexity of infectious disease, of infectious chronic disease. But this is not